Dozens of families are reaching out to the News4 Jax I team in response to our investigation of soaring local rents.
Tenants say they've been put in a bind as their apartment complexes sharply raise their rent, and at the same time, they're having trouble moving because costs are high everywhere. According to the Florida Apartment Association, the average monthly rent in the Jacksonville area climbed from $1,125 in 2020 to $1,411 today. The group also says there are fewer vacant apartments than in the past, and that limited supply is driving up costs.
Hey there, besties. Thank you for stopping by. I am MICHONDENYSE, and the evictions and the housing and the renting and the blah, 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 blah continues. Shout out to Florida. Now there's no place for people to go. What is going on? Let's go ahead and see what else they got to say.
News4 Jax I team investigator Vic Michelucci spoke with a local mom about a $400 increase to her family's monthly rent despite health and safety problems in their apartment.
It came out of the blue.
I mean, before we even get to what came out of the blue, okay, let's not gloss over what the man just said, the newscaster guy. He said she, so we know what that means, okay? And while we just recently looked at Kevin Samuels' Winter is Coming, FYI, I'm going to keep on that, and we're going to have a part 3 that's about to come up because he got a lot to say, and we need to go ahead and cover it because all of these women who did not want to hear him, who celebrated his death, okay? Now, I'm not saying karma because I don't do all that. I'm not wishing nothing on nobody. Nothing. I don't, it's not my thing. I got to be worried about me and mine. But what I am saying is for all of this, he was wrong. He certainly was right about what's going on now. Even though anyone who could kind of understand finance and the economy and took a look at what was actually going on and paid attention, anyone could see that something was about to happen where it was we got to buckle down right now. We can't be out here willy-nilly doing this, that, and the third that we want to because something is going to happen. Much like the housing crisis of 2008, it was like, for me anyway, it's like something is happening. These housing prices can't continue to climb. Some of these things don't even make good God sense. And honestly, we haven't gotten that bad, in my opinion, as far as housing prices are concerned, even though they are kind of out of control. This is kind of a repeat of that. But of course, people want to act like it's coronavirus. It is not coronavirus. Corona was a part of it, but it wasn't the reason why. This was starting pre-March or what was it, 2020, February 2020. But let's go ahead and hear what they got to say. Come on.
Blue.
So this is what they put on our door last week to tell us that rent was going up.
Vanessa Bafor Singletary shows us the $400 rent hike for her family's 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Fort Caroline. They were paying $809 a month, but this notice says rent will be increased to $1,232 per month.
I mean, $800, whoo, child. I wish I could see an $800 anything payment as far as a living situation is concerned, but I'm in a different tax bracket, so let's not talk about me. But $800, honestly, I hear that price and it's like way back when. Like it seems like it's a price back in the day. So anyone that was paying $800, in my opinion, just my 2 cents, one should be thankful and grateful, but making plans on what the next step is going to be, because you know that $800 in 2020, in 2021, in 2022, and upcoming 2023, it wasn't going to stay that way. There's just no way, if you watch the economy and you knew what was going on, that your rent was going to stay that way. Now, increments are typically, 35, 50 from what I remember, maybe 75, maybe 100. I don't know. I don't remember. Going up this much is a little bit, steep. However, if we're paying attention to what's going on, or you may be listening to someone like Kevin Samuels that's been talking about this stuff, then maybe you would be prepared or know, to make some plans to get a plan B, a plan C, to understand what's next. Like, I thought I saw a ring on this woman's finger, but maybe it's just decorative.
That's more than $400 more each month. She says managers then offered her a discount to $1,150 per month.
So you don't think you're getting your money's worth?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Especially for somebody that's been here for 10 years and paid.
Pause. We're not going to be glossing over comments like that. 10 years. 10 years renting. 10 years, we're going to go ahead and pay somebody else's mortgage. I know y'all have heard the slogan before. Listen. So this is not even from March 2020 type of deal, February 2020, whichever month it was. This is what is your plan in life? What is your life goals? Where do you want to go? How do you want to live? So if you want to be renting for 22 years, that's fine. That makes you at the mercy of the person that you are renting from. So whenever they feel like they want to do something different, which means raise the rent or even sell, because if they sell, then you're at the mercy of the next person. And then if they sell, then you're at the mercy of the next person. How long do we want to be at the mercy of someone? I know somebody will say, well, if you have a mortgage, it's the same thing, except it's not. It is not. If I have an increase in my mortgage, it's going to be, let me rephrase, on a fixed rate. If I have an increase on my mortgage, it's only because my taxes have changed or my insurance. That's it. So it's not going to be too much. It's not going to be $400 a month. It has gone up about 100 or so sometimes. That's also because they miscalculated the taxes or something. So that may skew it all out of order. But we also get the opportunity to just pay that in one lump sum, or you divvy it out over the term of the next year, and we'll see what next year brings calculation-wise, okay? And mine has gone up. It has gone down, but it's manageable because it's not some crazy price, and it's not a variable rate, so it's still going to remain the same. If you own nothing, how are you going to pass anything along to your children? How are you going to be able to make this generational wealth? The fastest and quickest, well, not quickest and not easiest, but the best way, in my opinion, to build wealth is to own something that's not depreciating. There's a difference between appreciating and depreciating. But I ain't got time because I ain't what this is about. Let's go ahead and see what the reasons are, because it's interesting how now there's a problem after you've been paying $800+ in rent, and now it's going to get raised, and now we want to complain.
Rent on time.
She points out problems in the unit, which she says the owners have not fixed, from mold to plumbing issues.
And the toilet has overflowed onto the carpet. And where you see this bulge, that's where all the water kind of flowed.
Not to mention a rodent infestation. She says rats ate through the couch.
A lot of people would say, why don't you look somewhere else?
So we've actually tried to look a lot of places, but I guess rent is just increasing everywhere in Jacksonville. So we may be paying $1,200 for this place.
We have heard from so many of you.
So in 10 years, she couldn't find any place to go live. So if listen, y'all, I'm different, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not, everybody gonna do what they gonna do, okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that, all right? All right. But what I'm not gonna do is live with some rats. Do you hear me? I'm not going to live with some rats. I'm not going to live with mold. But you know what you could do? You could read that daggone contract that you took out when you decided to rent for 10 years. What you could also do is read that landlord-tenant agreement that gives you everything that you need to know. Okay? Now, it's going to require some reading. It's going to require some comprehension. And you know what else? The third most important thing? It's going to require some daggone work. And in my opinion, just my 2 cents, we don't want to do any work. We don't want to have to work hard on anything. We don't want to have to look into it and try to figure something out. No. We'd rather complain and whine and go to the news media and look half damn crazy talking about this is not worth it. It's not worth it to live with rats and mold at $1,100, $1,200, but it's worth it to live at $800 is what I'm hearing. Maybe it's me. Y'all let me know, okay? But this is crazy. And I see it. I seen two kids, I think, unless that's her wife. So we all living here?
In a similar situation, telling us that rent hikes like this are downright unfair, and some are questioning if they're even legal. We checked, and here in the state of Florida, they are.
Everybody want to question legality. Everybody want to question legality. You all need to be worried about legality when you're living with mold that is going to be harmful not only to you, but your kid. Probably more to the kids since they're new. That was a baby I saw. Those lungs are just developing. And if they're breathing in mold, that's going to be a problem later. So at the end of the day, I'm just asking the question, do we really care about the kids at the end of the day? That baby didn't look 10. So we got rats, we got mold, we got wetness, we got bulkiness, we got stuff falling apart, and we had a kid to bring into it. I know I'm mean, I'm unempathetic, unsympathetic. I'm the problem. I know. I got it. But if anyone has anything to say other than insulting me about what I think is common sense, like who does this? Why do we do this? And then want all this sympathy and empathy in the world now that it's getting to the winter, I will call it. So I'm just pointing out and what I would say is the obvious, right? Like, it ain't working out here. I got to go someplace else. It's not giving me what I need here. I got to go someplace else. So if that means I got to find another job, get another job, make more money, work it out with the man that gave me that baby, something, just something other than sit there, whine and complain supposedly, and then when someone says you got to pay more rent, then it's, oh my God, is it legal? Odds are it's going to be legal. Odds are it's always going to be legal. I'm just saying, again, just my 2 cents.
But a few lawmakers are trying to change that.
We have many families that are living in hotels, living out of their cars.
State Senator Victor Torres, who represents Central Florida, wants cities and counties to be able to control rent. He's introducing a bill that also says price increases should be incremental.
And you're putting out people who are working people, working class, and it's a shame that this is occurring and we have to do something about that.
Jacksonville City.
All right, Victor, what y'all gonna do about it? Because this is what I think, just my 2 cents, just thinking ahead, right? They're gonna go ahead and put some laws into place that's gonna tell landlords that they can't increase but by so much. But by that time, it's gonna be too late because all this stuff is gonna have taken place. They'll just sell the place. Or they'll pull out any of the programs. I'm not saying that woman is on a program, but they'll pull out more on the programs. Okay. And then potentially have all these houses sitting on the market, which would be a buyer's market at that point. And then it'll be a bunch of stuff just sitting around, or they'll just leave it, walk away from it, much like they did 2008, and just take that loss because it's in the business's name anyway. It ain't going to affect them personally. And then there'll be a bunch of places that's even crustier than what they already are.
Council President Sam Newby says he wants the power for rent control, but the state must do something first before the city can act. Do you think that there are cases where landlords are taking advantage of the situation because what's going on?
Yeah, I definitely think they're taking advantage of it because of the COVID situation and people are moving from up north to Jacksonville. And I understand, because of inflation, you do have to go up a little bit, but $300 and $400 a month is just absolutely unacceptable.
This mother.
So when they go up for this place for $400, they're obviously going to come in and fix it because otherwise there's no way that they're going to get those amounts, which will be more than the $1,100 that they agreed to give to her. Maybe this is her daughter's baby, but either way, if it's that bad in here, we shouldn't be bringing in babies. So they was comfortable, okay? Let's just call a spade a spade. They was comfortable up in here. Now the problem is only the fact that there is a rent increase. So if this is your baby, then you can work and help to pay. And that's what I would say. You know, get this baby, unfortunately, into daycare and contribute. Even if she's in high school, all hands on deck. That's what I say.
Her hopes leaders do something before her family's rent increases again. In Fort Carolina.
So we're waiting on government again to do something about our personal situation. Listen, I don't know how many times I can say it. That should not be your solution. That should be the last resort after 20 resorts. 20 previous resorts in your last resort being government. Keep depending on the government, y'all. Keep depending on the government.
Caroline, I'm Vic Micolucci, Channel
Thanks,
4,
Vic.
the local station.
A property manager just sent us this response to the complaints about the Townsend apartments. It says, we are aware of the residents' concerns and have been working with the resident to resolve them. In recent months, we have been working to not only improve individual units, but have opened a free daycare and community center for our residents and their families. You can read the full statement about how the management company says it's trying to improve the property. It's on our website.
Well, if they giving up free daycare, they definitely gonna be going up in the daggone rent. I mean, that's crazy. I ain't never heard no daggone apartment place offer free daggone daycare. A rec center, maybe. So she might want to get that girl to go ahead and get a job making up the difference of the $400 or so, because this ain't looking good. And she need to read that daggone contract and go ahead and do what's required in order to get that stuff fixed, because you shouldn't be living there, and definitely that baby shouldn't either. But just my 2 cents, as I always say. So that's it. That's all. Of course, I want to hear what y'all have to say. I appreciate you if you made it this far. Please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next one.